This is big news, guys. The Florida Panthers might have to make some pretty significant line changes because of an injury to a key player. I'll tell you who he is and how long he could be out for, as well as the line changes that might happen. And one player is set to return after serving his 20-game suspension. Man, is he going to be a big pick-me-up for the Panthers on defense, which their defense has already been playing phenomenally in these first two games. But I'll tell you who he is and how his impact could make this team even more dangerous than they already are. Guys, thank you for joining me on Panthers Digest. I'm your host, Greg Andrews. Whew, there's going to be a lot to get to, but hey, before we get to that, hit that subscribe button down below because you need to make sure you are staying up to date with all things going on with your defending Stanley Cup champion, Florida Panthers. Because as they move forward, there's going to be news coming left and right and hot off the presses. So you're going to want to stay in the know, guys. So, game two couldn't have gone down without a little bit of controversy, obviously, especially when you're playing your in-state rival, the Tampa Bay Lightning, who the two teams really have a disgust for one another. And it's just been escalating in each period. The physicality picked up tremendously in game number two, especially from the Lightning side, but there was a very controversial moment when there was a hit from Hagel on Aleksander Barkov. It was pretty dirty. It was blatant. I think the whole way he was eyeing that he was going to just knock Barkov to the ice. And I'm not going to say the intent was to injure because I don't think that's what it was. I think he was just trying to lay a big hit and maybe try to have the game change a little bit more in the favor in terms of momentum for the Lightning. Unfortunately, he wasn't paying close enough attention to where the puck was, and the rest is history. He ended up getting a 5-minute major, but we'll get into more about what has happened with Hagel in terms of the NHL ruling on that hit. So, starting off, guys, this is where we are. Hagel is going to get a 1-game suspension. It's been handed down by the NHL. They did say that, hey, it was an illegal hit. You know, the player's head was down. He was nowhere near the puck. He did not touch the puck, which means he is hands off for any sort of a check, which Hagel obviously did not see. I'm not defending Hagel in the least. I think it was a very dirty hit. I think he could have put the brakes on and stopped or gone around him. He could have avoided doing that. I feel like he completely, in his mind, was ready to take a big time layout hit on a big time player for the Cats. He was trying to send a statement, and boy, did he send his statement, and it's not a good one, boys. I'll tell you why in a second. But as you can see here, 1-game suspension by the NHL. And you could see in one angle, which is coming from behind the players. Unfortunately, I do not have it here. I've actually watched this about 50 times on my TV, the replay about, oh, wait, what's Hagel thinking? What's he trying to do here? You know, it's a dirty hit. That's it. It's a dirty hit. You could see from the angle behind the players, the puck is nowhere near Barkov. He did not touch it. On Spitting Chicklets, I did hear they're like, oh, well, maybe he assumed that Barkov did tap the puck, which makes him eligible for a check. But from my perspective, and Paul Bissonnette, he was saying, oh, maybe he just, he didn't notice. He thought he touched it. He thought this, that. As a player in any sport, part of what you need to be able to do is be aware of what is happening in the game. If, obviously, if it was a mistake, I'm sure it was. I'm sure he's like, there was no intent to injure. I was in the heat of the moment. Things are happening so fast, and hockey is such a fast game. I'm not going to say he was doing this with intent to injure. By means, no, I am not saying that. But you got to keep your head on a swivel there and know everything that is happening during the game. You've got to make sure that player has touched the puck because you have to make a lightning fast, no pun intended, decision within a second of whether or not you're going to hit a guy and the repercussions of if you are wrong. And right now, these are the repercussions. He's suspended for a game. And they did say there was some head contact there, which is, I think, the bigger reason why they are going to suspend him. They did suspend him is because there was shoulder to head contact. It was by no means, you'll see right now, that it's important to note that Barkov never possessed the puck on the play and was not eligible to be checked right there. You can see that from an NHL spokesman. So yeah, Hagel said that he approached the play anticipating Barkov did have the puck. So again, it's he said, she said, whatever, however it goes. You can play it in your head whatever the way you want to. Okay. So this isn't the first time that he's gotten some sort of a fine. The NHL looked at him. He was fined earlier, a couple of years ago with a hit to Eetu Luostarinen in May of 2022, and he did get a fine for that. The good news, bad news kind of thing that is happening for the Panthers is Barkov is not ruled out as of right now. He is day to day on the injury report, which is a good sign, but I'm thinking we'll probably find out in the minutes leading up to the game whether or not he's going to play, maybe even a couple of hours before. Maybe they'll have him do a morning skate, see how he feels, see what he's doing, all of that. And that is where I'm going to tell you there might be some line changes that might have to happen for this team if he's out. And Paul Maurice is fully prepared if that has to happen. Okay, and you can see here with Hagel being out, it's going to make things a little bit, hopefully, easier for the Panthers because they're missing a key ingredient on their offense. This guy does deliver 82 games. He's got 35 goals and 55 assists. So he is a contributor to their offense, and that is going to be a big missing piece. Good for the Panthers, bad for the Lightning, good for the Cats, like I said, so that's great. So injury report, like I said, he is not out for game 3 as of right now. I mean, this was last night when they did update this. Moving forward, when news comes out, it will probably break in the coming hours. It is only 10 o'clock here on the East Coast. Let me double check. Yes, it is 10 o'clock on the East Coast. So I'm sure in the next hour to 2 hours, we will probably know his fate for, today's game at 1 p.m. at Amerant Bank Arena in Sunrise. So good news, bad news, unfortunately. Let's hope he will play. If not, again, one man out, another one's coming back in, and we'll get to that in just a second. So as you can see here, in early April, Barkov was out for a few days because he suffered an injury. And so what they did to change those lines, and they've worked with this before, so there is some chemistry with some of the interchanging of these lines where you have Lundell, Luostarinen, and Sam Reinhart all on that same line when Barkov has been out. So there is some chemistry there that they've played together this season. So that's good news. And also, Brad Marchand has played with Lundell. So again, that's another kind of wrinkle they could throw into changing up these lines, which I will show you what the projected lines will be for this game as of early this morning. So as we move forward here, you can see here, Paul Maurice. This comes from Jameson Olive. I say this every single time I've got anything from him, from his Twitter account, his X account, Jameson Olive, beat writer for the Florida Panthers, says that he has 2 or 3 different options if Barkov is not going to be playing in today's game. I'm not too worried. I'm really not that concerned. If he has to miss a game, so be it. Keep him healthy. That was a big, nasty hit, man. Let's make sure he's good to go for game number 4. I think the Panthers, again, in this one, which I'll get to a little more detail about how I feel about this game coming up today, but I still feel like the Panthers are going to win this one because that place is going to be a rocking. We'll get into that in a minute. So, Aaron Ekblad, this is the pick-me-up. One man is out. Unfortunately, Barkov, our captain, who is an amazing forward who plays great defense. But guess what? We're getting Aaron Ekblad back. He's one of the top defensemen in the league. He is wonderful for this team. He's able to throw the puck at the net sometimes and contribute offensively with some assists, but his poke check, his awareness on defense is second to none. And just look at the defense and the depth that the Panthers have with Jones. And you've got Ekblad. I mean, even on the offensive side of things, you've got guys that are really great defenders. I mean, even everybody's stepping up right now. I already said, guys are blocking shots on this team left and right. And it's something we haven't really been accustomed to seeing with this Panthers team the last, couple of months of the season. But they're blocking shots, and that's one of the reasons why I say I think that is going to be the difference maker for this team in every series leading up to the Stanley Cup Finals is can they put their bodies on the line and block shots and help Bobrovsky? If they do, their chances to win a Stanley Cup are going to be exponentially through the roof because you're helping your goalie out who doesn't have to keep making save after save after save after save. Put your body on the line, but then again, risking injury. And Aaron Ekblad, this is the best part about this right now, is he feels great. And we'll get to that in a second. So these are the projected lineups for today's game at 1 p.m. with no Aleksander Barkov. So you see Lucianen, Lundell, and Reinhart are on that first line. Then you have Bennett, Tkachuk, and Samoskevich, which I'm loving. And I think we might even see Brad Marchand step up on that line, but who knows? You know, we saw a little chit-chatting in game number 2 when between the benches, and I loved it. It was Marchand next to Bennett, next to Tkachuk, who was sitting on the bench, and they were yapping back and forth with the Lightning. It was awesome to see, and my God, the NHL better be on notice with those three if they are on the same line, because that, I think, could be one of the most dangerous lines, not necessarily because they can score, they can assist, they can, play great defense, they can put the body on guys. It's the mental game, and I've said this so many times before. Hockey, it's not just about the physicality play, that physical play is about the mental play too. And those three guys on the same line, I think, are a deadly combination for opponents when they're when they're sharing the ice with them, excuse me. And I'd be excited to see them. And I think we might see that happen if Barkov is out. But I do like the third line. I mean, look at that. For Hagee, Rodriguez, and Brad Marchand, that could be a super dangerous line. Really, really dangerous. And this is what I was saying about the defense. Forsling and Ekblad, when they pair up together, they are one of the best defensive duos in the league. And then you have Schmidt and Jones, Mikula Kulikov. Our defense is deep, guys. And I love seeing this. And there's some big bodies out there, too. I've already said Jones and Ekblad are both about the same size, about 6'4", around 230. I think it's going to be more physical today. I don't think that the Panthers are going to come out of this one saying, hey, man, we're going to have to go after somebody after what happened to Barkov. No. I think Paul Maurice has said, guys, we're not going to do that. Keep your heads in the game. Your revenge will come by winning the series. And if we're up somewhere in that game to close it out, let's throw it at him. Don't take him out like that, but just be physical. Do what you're going to do. Get inside of his head. I think Hagel made a big mistake. And now he has a target on his back when he returns after this game. He's going to have a target on his back. There is no doubt about that. You went after the Florida Panthers captain, their leader, a guy who's tough as nails. You tried to take him out of a game, and now you've really made this team angry. You just added fuel to the fire with their play, and I think that's the biggest mistake. Not just the hit and that he had the 5-minute major. And again, Paul Maurice's genius was saying, look, we just got to waste the clock. We've got a 1-goal lead. Let's just keep it. We just got to win. It's not about scoring a million goals. We just got to have one better than the other team. That's it. And that's exactly what he did with his team. Awesome. Awesome. And I'm telling you, this team's going to come out fired up big time. So, moving forward, guys, this is Evan Rodriguez saying he cannot wait for this game because the last time the Florida Panthers played a game at home, it was Game 7, and they won the Stanley Cup. He says he's getting chills thinking about it. The atmosphere is going to be insane, and he can't wait, and I'm sure the crowd can't wait. Every single player on that bench can't wait. It is going to be rocking. It is going to be loud. It is going to be furious. I can't wait, and again, Ekblad is going to get a huge standing ovation, I think, with his return. And if Tkachuk scores, that's just going to add more to it. And if we do see Barkov, even better, man. And again, this team is just going to be more dangerous playing at home. But they are playing against an incredibly desperate Lightning team right now. And this is Paul Maurice in terms of on Aaron Ekblad coming back. Usually when you're facing some sort of a player being out for a long period of time, they're injured. But he said, no, not in this case. So what has happened here, he's going to be in such tremendous, tremendous shape. We're going to put him right back with his partner, Forsling, and they're just going to be this dynamic duo on the ice defensively. And I'm sure Ekblad is going to look like he's playing Game 1 of the regular season. And this is what he said. His body hasn't felt this good since Game 1 of the regular season. It's like he had a mini training camp, and it's the best that he has felt in a while, for sure. He cannot wait to get back on the ice. I can tell you guys that, and it's going to be awesome to see him. I think he's going to come out there rocking and laying the body out on guys and trying to stick up for his teammates too. I can't wait to see what he's going to do. And Gustav Forsling on Ekblad's return, stating that, they have such great depth in their defense that he's not too worried. And having Ekblad come back, it's going to give them even more confidence that if one guy goes down, another's going to step up because of that tremendous depth. And that's what you need heading into the playoffs. So exciting, absolutely. This is going to be one heck of a game today. I can't wait to watch it at 1 p.m., guys. Again, remember, 1 p.m., it's an early puck drop. So make sure you're setting an alarm or have your DVR set to record, whatever it might be. Get ready for a barn burner, man. This is going to be an all-out war today. Like I said, a desperate Tampa Bay team, a Florida Panthers team that's looking for some revenge, and a big-time win to go up 3-0 in this series and possibly close it out in Game 4. That place is going to be rocking. Man, I wish I could be there, but I'll be sitting on my couch, beer in hand, ready to rock and roll with these guys. Yeah, so exciting times to come, guys, and stay tuned for the next episode that will be coming up tomorrow after the game. We'll do some post-game analysis and give any updates if there are any injuries, as well as talk about what we're going to be looking at moving forward for game number 4, guys. So enjoy the game today, and go Cats!